Hey, was hungry. Had to finish cooking. I was gonna show you the meal, but some of you are squeamish and don't like watching me eat. But that's okay. Anyway, we're 17 minutes or so from 7 o'clock. Hey, Twitchy, how was your day today, Twitch? What'd you do? Do. I'm working. Oh, okay. Hey, let me just reach for my little glass of red wine. The Super Bowl. Well, we're not watching the Super Bowl. The store is dead. Well, that's good. Gives you the opportunity to talk to your cadre. Super no. So when I was in prep school, I was a little peanut, right? And eighth, ninth grade, I grew about almost a foot. But I was at a seminary where all we got was starchy food. So I kind of packed on a few pounds. And when football time came around, they said, oh, because we all had to play a sport. We didn't have gym. We had to play sport, right? And so in fall, I was made to play football, right? So they said, you're going to play football. I said, I don't want to play football. You're going to play football. I don't want to play football. I don't want to hit anybody. I don't want to, no, I don't want to do that. And so they basically said, you're going to play football. And they put me on the line, right? And, so I basically had to do what they told me. But I did not, invest myself. And so, like when everyone was doing jumping jacks, I was doing like this, with my finger, Right? And anyway, there were only so many of us, so I had to play football, right? So time comes for the big game. Our first game. Everyone's out there doing jumping jacks, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm a tackle. I'm on the line, and I tap this guy's head, right? His helmet, and go, knock, 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 knock. What do you want? So listen, I don't know you, and I don't want to hit you. And for sure, I don't want you to hit me. See that guy over there? The halfback? Well, the quarterback's going to give him the ball, and he's going to run right through here. I'm going to step over here, out of the way, and I want you to plant him into the ground. He goes, why would you do that? Well, because I don't know you, and I don't want to hit you, and I don't want you to hit me. But that guy I do know. He's a jerk, total asshole, And it's on too. Tell all your buddies it's on too. So he does, and the whole time, from when they say, you're going to play football, I don't want to play football. You're going to play football, I don't want to play football. And the whole time, you have to really get into this. You have to be, I don't want to do this. Whole time, that's all I said. I don't want to do this. So anyway, hup, hup, and I just step out of the way. The guy comes flying through, and right, this guy cuts him in half. And then his 3 or 4 other buddies pound his helmet into the ground. I'm just looking at them, and they get up and push their hands on his face and get up and walk away. And the guy is squished into the dirt. I said, hey, that was fun. Did you like that? And so they had to carry him away. And then the next guy, and that guy was a real jerk. He was a junior, a total jerk, right? He treated us like crap. Anyway, Next thing, they brought in another guy who was, again, a real asshole. And, right? And it's going to come over there. And I said, not on the helmet of the other guy, listen, it's on 3, and it's coming through the other tackle over there. And I'm supposed to pull out so this other guy can come through. You tell your guys to just kill him. And I'm just going to, again, step out of the way. And when this guy comes through, you can kill him. Okay? Okay. It's on 3. Tell all your buddies. Hup, hup, hup. I just kind of get out of the way. Right? And you'd think, after the second time, I mean, just standing out of the way, and you know, this time the ball gets knocked out of the guy's hand, and it falls like back 20 yards, and those guys run it and get on it, and now they're like 10 yards to getting a touchdown, and our 2 strongest guys are, you know, in the hospital, and so I'm having to do defense, right? And so, we're there, and I knock on the guy's helmet, and I go, "Do you guys do audibles?" And he goes, "Yes." I said, "Well, why don't you tell him to run through this hole? I'm just going to step out of the way because there's going to be no one behind me. They're all lining up on the other side." And so the guy, leaves the message, and so they go up, 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 and I just get out of the way, and the guy just runs right through and gets a touchdown. And the coach grabs me my and I'm a freshman. I'm not, I'm like 5'6" at this point, but I have these shoes that have cleats on them, right? So he grabs my helmet and starts wiggling my head around, and I take my little shoe with the cleats, and I basically fall on top of him with my foot on his, junk. And I stand on his junk. And I'm standing above him like this. So what did I say? I don't want to play football. And I walked off the field. I got in a lot of trouble for that one. But that's what I feel about football. My father was a football hero. I mean, he was. He was death in the afternoon, right? That's what they call him. And he played for the New York Giants, but during the Depression, so they paid him $1.50 a game. And then he tried to join the Air Force. So there are sports I do like. And the sports I do like are the sports where the coach is really fun and inspirational. So there was, they just made me work in the barn instead of, have the honor to play hockey or football or soccer. So when winter came, I was on the swim team. And our coach was this amazing guy who, he was 90 years old, and he could swim better than us. And he was in the 1933 Olympics in Germany, and he was Jewish, right? And so even the guys on his team hated his guts and were like gave him a hard time for being Jewish, right? And the other person who was treated like the other was Jesse Owens, a black man. And so they were, Jesse was a runner, and my coach was a swimmer, and they were, they were in Berlin, and basically, they were roommates because nobody wanted to be with either of them. And they became really good friends. And they were in the village, right? And so they were out at a little cafe and they were talking. And Jesse had won a gold medal. And so Jesse had dropped a piece of silverware on the floor. He bent down, and a bullet hole appeared where his head had been. And my coach dove on top of Jesse, and a bullet hole appeared where my coach's head was. They wanted to kill both those guys, right? Put a bullet in their head. Send a little message, you know. Anyway, Jesse Owen, you know, he got, I don't know how many gold medals. And my coach, he was a diving guy, right? From the like top 20-meter, you know, platform. And he would, right? Right? And he won a gold medal too. And they went home. And they got no, you know, no big fanfare, no big, you know, thing. No, especially my coach. But my coach was an inspiration. So swimming is a game where everyone on the team doesn't, you know, it's not a you know sport of exceptionalism. You know, oh, you've got the star, and then there's the other guys. You know, no, everybody basically competes against themselves, right, to be the best they can be. And my coach used to make us feel like we had been an amazing hero if we did 1 second better than we had ever done before. And I was a long distance swimmer. You know, I swam, you know, the 400 IM and the 400 freestyle. And, you know, and the really, really super long one. And I used to do these things called pyramids where all I did was swim, right? And I would go one fast, one slow, too fast, too slow, all the way up to 25 and then all the way back. And so in the period, while everyone else was practicing whatever they're doing, I'd have a lane and all I'd be doing is swimming, 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 swimming. And it got to a point, and that's where I went to state the first time. I was swimming so much, I forgot I was in a pool. I was in another universe. When I was a little boy, twice my father picked me up one day and threw me in. We were part of a yacht club, but had a big pool and had a nice big fancy dining room, and so we would, you know, that's what he liked. And one day, you know, I was just fooling around in the thing, and he wanted me to swim in the deep end, and he picked me up and threw me in the deep end, and I just sank, woo, right to the bottom of the pool, and I sat on the floor, and I looked around. And I was like a fish. I was like going, I can actually breathe down here. And I stayed there for I don't know how long. And then I got up and I walked on the floor of the pool out to the shallow end. And people were like freaking out that I was drowning. And the lifeguard couldn't get down to the deep end of where I was. He couldn't like go down. And I just kind of walked out. And when they were still, I mean, they were just diving down looking for me, and I had walked out of the pool. Right? So I had this thing with water, I guess, being an Aquarian. And I can almost, you know, I can really stay underwater. I used to love water and swimming. You don't anymore, Twitch? Why in the past tense? Twitchy, Uncle Fugnuts, Jane, who else is there? Anyway, this evening is about being brave by being the better person, you know, by stepping up. Lovely day. So it's day there in Ireland, Inc. I guess it is. It's about almost 7:30 here, so 5 hours ahead. It was a nice day here. You know, it's been ridiculously cold here. And today it was in the 50s. It's going to be 70 degrees on Wednesday. Unbelievable. Forced to take swimming lessons. Oh, that's too bad. Well, good. You love swimming now. Good. I mean, I hate it when people, it was like football. Didn't want to play football. Well, I basically made my little stand. And after that first game, I was out of playing football. And I was taking, mucking out the stables and where the dairy cows were. I was milking them. So I've had a number of stints in farms. I mean, even though I'm a city boy, 4 different times I was in farms taking care of animals, and I really love animals. And like cows are big dogs. Cows are smart. Cows are amazingly empathetic and loving, and that we slice them up and turn them into cheeseburgers. Not really good. I used to live near abattoir. You know what that is? That's where they kill animals. And I used to hear them, killing the cows and the pigs. And the pigs were amazing because they wouldn't get up. The cows were just going to lumber off the truck and walk into, they thought it was a feedlot. They'd stick their head, little electric beam, ding, and this pneumatic thing would go right through their brain and they'd fall over dead. And then they'd like come with big forklifts and just pick them up and bring them in to get sliced up. And sometimes the fork would just fork them, not get underneath, but go right into them and pick them up. And they'd still be like, ugh. Not a good thing to eat that. And pigs wouldn't get off the trucks. And you could hear them screaming, no, I won't go. I won't go. I mean, pigs can actually talk and they're smart. And, the guys who had to get them off the truck had super duper cattle prods. I mean, they'd, get that, it had wires. I mean, it was super high voltage. And they would get in there, they would get up the top and just jab the pig with this cattle prod and would fly out. I mean, just electric. And this is what we eat. This is the sausage. This is the, right. And I was at a place that called itself a humane abattoir, where they're supposed to like be nice with. No, it was nothing different, right? Just like organic food in the supermarket, it's the same crap that they charge you a little bit less for and call it non-organic. It's a scam. Pretty much everything in this illusionary world is a scam. And we're heading, we are those cows. Getting off the truck, going to the feedlot, do. And that idea of the robots taking over and then we're just going to get paid to do nothing, I don't think so. That isn't the life that the hidden hand has for us. And that's why we have to be brave. And that's why we have to choose with our free will to step up to this. We have to be creative. It's the only way we can fight oppression. It's not through violence. They want us to be violent. They feed off that violence. They love war. That's why Aries does this. Well, I've died 6 times already, and I'm going to live as long as I'm needed. I'm here to serve. Yep, horses wear blinders, yes, and so are we. We are blinded. Back in the day of the Roman Empire, they blinded the citizens with bread and circus, and they blind us with fast food and flat screen TVs. So that's why I keep talking about we have to formulate this alternative aesthetic. Art is the singular vehicle. Creativity is the vehicle to break the back of the hidden hand. Okay, swimming now. I thought you said swimming cow. Swimming now, but I was forced to do scary lessons as a kid. I could do anything as a kid if my teacher was was my sensei. I've had senseis my whole life. They didn't call themselves that, but they were elders that led by example. My parents only did that, once in a while, when they were at their best, when they stepped up being their best. My parents were great. Otherwise, they were unconscious, wearing blinders, and just sad creatures, you know. Bread and Super Bowl. That's right. And everyone who watches that show, they don't realize those commercials. Oh, I'm looking forward to commercials. They're being brainwashed. That whole Super Bowl thing. I mean, and the all that entertainment they have. I mean, it's satanic. Every Lady Gaga flying through the air. All of that crap is satanic. And then when people, step up to it and try, why do you think Michael Jackson and Prince were murdered? Because they have been trying to fight the hidden hand, as long as I have known it, right? And poor Michael Jackson, he had been, MK Ultra'd as a child, you know. And that's why we need to bring forth this alternative aesthetic. It has to be, make people laugh, make people want to dance. I mean, the best way to get people, one reason why I loved hanging with my brothers, my Rasta brothers in 2014 in Port St. Lucie, was that I kept coming up with amazing things to do. And my Rasta clan, yeah, let's go do it. Let's go to that college, and we would just, not get permits, not get, I would never ask. I would just go in and do things, right? I go in and scope it. Oh, okay, here's the student union. Here they eat. Here, actually, they have a really nice stage with a sound system. Oh, this is how it works. So we would just come in with our guitars and instruments and just plug into their sound system and start playing. And I would start, with my walker and clamped legs, start dancing down amongst the students. And then everybody would start dancing. And before you know it, whoever was the authority would come in, and all these students, and they couldn't stop. They couldn't come in like with the police and arrest us and take us away because then the students would get very upset. And those people only have a job when they can basically mind control the student body to be the willing sheeple. And so, okay, so they get a little entertained by this crew, okay, and then they, before we would leave the stage, we would say, well, we'll be back tomorrow, or we'll be back next week. Tell everyone, and then the next time we'd show up, and we would come off the stage, and I'd already done the groundwork and found the president of the school, talk to him and say, hey, this is kind of what we're going to do, but we're not going to tell anybody. But if it's successful and you like it, maybe we'll do this more often. And that's what we did. And then we did it at nightclubs in Miami and West Palm Beach, and we went to all the rich people, right? And I used to do paintings on stage while the guys were, playing. And yes, we'd get, somewhere between $600 and $1,500 a show, but especially when we did it at rich people's nightclubs and rich people's country clubs and rich people's fancy places, they would buy that painting. And Ade was a great painter too. And so he and I would tag team a painting. We'd come up there with an easel and a thing, and they buy that. And they didn't realize that painting, it wasn't just the money we were getting for it. That was fine. But we were doing a shamanic ceremony, and we were giving that rich person that painting that they would take home and put it in their office or their house or whatever, and it would do a shamanic, energetic to them and their family and their business, and it would change them, right? And they would come back and say, "Oh, could you come play for us?" And that was what we were doing. We were making money, but the real deal was we were changing people from the inside out, and that was the Spontaneous. Yep. Past conviction and belief. Speculation. No fear. Exactamente. That's what it's about. No fear. And when I was working for this church, I guess it was 2015, they had a great, community hall down in the basement with an amazing kitchen, big Garland stove, fryolator, all the rest. I found these two Jamaican ladies, and we started a restaurant called the No Fear Cafe. And it was right in the middle of the city, right across the street from the court and the city police and the sheriff's office and the jail and the federal building and the hospital and channel, NBC. And they would all come. And I went around to all those places with flyers. They all came, said it's donation. And I would make sure that we had these big tables that could sit about 10 people, and I'd have a judge and cops and doctors and homeless people and people who are on the lower end of the employment specter, and I'd have them all together, and I'd start the conversation. So who are you? What do you do? What do you think of this? Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Oh, you're a homeless guy. Why don't you tell the judge your experience? And then I would go to the next table, and I was like the maitre d'. And we did that for 2 months, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the people who had money, they said, well, no one got a bill. It was, we told them there's a little sign on the thing against donation. And so the guys who were the rich, the guys who were the doctors, the guys who were the judges, I'd say, they go, well, what should we donate? I said, how much you got in your wallet? Why don't you empty your wallet into that basket by the door, right? And the homeless people, they said, what should we donate? I said, you guys want to come into the kitchen and wash the dishes? That's all you got to do. Or if you can't do that, don't worry about it, And so we had a lot of homeless people in there, but they did a lot of good things, right? And they helped the two Jamaican old ladies, and it was growing great. And then I got sick, so I couldn't do that, right? And I, ended up in bed for 2 or 3 weeks. And the guy who was the, poster boy of the church, the guy who they got to be the head minister, but he wasn't ordained. He didn't go to theology school. He had been an activist, a Christian activist. And so they wanted to have that. And he said, hey, I want you to be my action coordinator. So I did all that work of spinning the place up. And then I came back, and after 3 weeks, and basically the No Fear Cafe had died because he told the homeless people not to show up. He told people, that they should put, $10 in the thing, right? And some people didn't have the $10. So it put off a lot of people, and he made sure all the rich people sat with all the rich people, and anybody who was poorer than, a police guy, he wouldn't let them sit down. So that was the end of the No Fear Cafe. And there were a lot of things we did at that church that were truly amazing. But, so now I went back and visited, that was 2014. So 15, 3 or 4 years later, I went and visited, and he's still there, and he's still doing the same thing, but nothing's going on in that church. Nothing. He's just, and that's pretty much Roanoke. Nothing's going on. And the people who have anything going on, they try really hard, and because they can't get anyone, to be a cadre, and that is the real, that's the aesthetic problem. So everyone is about, how am I going to pay my bills? If you serve Love's Co-Creation, your bills will get paid. Not a problem. You'll have whatever you need. My whole life has been, I've always had not just what I need, but more. I've lived my life as a millionaire, but never been one. Never worked as one. I've had loads of careers, but they weren't careers. I was serving Love's Co-Creation every minute of every day. And some days I didn't realize that. It took me some time to really kind of realize. And I realized it earlier in my life, and then I became unconscious to it. And then I realized it again, and pretty much every time I died, I would, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. So, you know, I've got it. I don't have to die again. You know, and I'm not gonna die until my job is done here, right? And once it is, I'm going home. Nothing's gonna stop that. It was getting a little toasty. Uh, uh, well, you know, basically, authority figures, panic attacks. I love that scene from Annie Hall when our hero goes to L.A., right, and he flies over. He can't stand being in an airplane. Can't stand L.A. He rents a car, and they give him the longest Cadillac, and he just can't drive it in L.A. traffic. And the cop pulls him over, and Woody Allen, and there's little Woody, and he goes, "I really can't stand authority. I can't deal with authority," and he tears up his driver's license. Of course, he gets arrested, and the thing about authority is to become their buddy, right? Not to like take them serious. And guys with guns, you try to make them your friends, right? You give them that sense of respect that they deserve and need, and you have a good time with them. You make them laugh, you make them think. You know, so I was up here at the school being sick, and the SWAT team shows up at my front door, and I'm like, clicking away at my laptop writing one of my novels. And my good old dog, she kind of nudges me and goes, "Hey, look out the window, moron." Kind of look out the window, and there's a SWAT team, and they're like all getting ready, and they're in their black armored everything. And so I go down the back stairs and come out, quietly downstairs behind them, right? And they're all kind of going up quietly up the stairs, about six of them, right? And they have P9s and automatic guns and body armor, and I'm going. And so I use my sensei outside in your brain voice, and I go, "Yo, what are you morons doing?" But I'm doing it in such a way that they all freak out and fall down the staircase. They're like a silent movie, Keystone Cops, right? And they're down in a pile. If I did, and one guy dropped his P9 and it fell right in front of my feet. All I had to do is pick it up, and I could have wasted them all, but I didn't. I picked it up. I put the safety on. I leaned it against the thing. I picked the next automatic weapon, put the safety on, leaned it against the car, and then I got them and I helped them up. And I said, "What are you guys doing? What are you looking for?" And they give me, I said, "You're at the frigging wrong house." And they were like, "Oh." And guys like that, once they hit the switch and they smash the door down, there's no stopping them. But I caught them just as they were getting ready on the staircase, and they all fell down the staircase, right? And I just kept cracking jokes about them, how fat they were and this and that. And you guys are really the SWAT team? And they go, "No, we're just wearing their equipment. We're not really SWAT." And I said, "Guys, come on, you got to, please, go, where is this guy?" So I walked them down the road, and I pointed him at the house. I said, "That place is where the guy you're looking for." And there's nothing wrong with him. He's, I don't know why you had to serve him papers, but there's nothing wrong with that guy. He was, he's a good dude. He's not violent. He has no weapons. So knock on his door and don't, be ready for bear, because he's not a threat. Just talk to him. And that's what they did. Instead of doing what they did with me, they just, the sergeant, the guys were back 20 feet and didn't have their guns like this. They were just standing there, and he went and knocked on the door, and that guy came to the door, and he said, "Hey, we have something for you." And that was that. Well, he didn't respond, and he took the piece of paper, but he didn't respond. So a few weeks later, the the police came looking for him again. And it was a Sunday morning. And it was one of these mornings. It was like this Sunday. It was like it had been ridiculous winter, and then it got warm. It's supposed to be 76 on Thursday. Anyway, so they it's Sunday morning, and I wake up, and it's beautiful, and I sleep in the buff. So I'm totally naked, and I throw a little kind of blankie around my shoulders and tie it around. So it's red, and it's fluffy, and it's like a cape, and it's keeping my back warm. And I kind of pull it up over my head, and I walk out, and I'm like looking at what a beautiful day is, because the school, it looks down into the valley, and when the sun rises in the east and it's really unbelievably beautiful. So I'm standing there, and the dogs are with me, and I'm basically going, oh, this is beautiful. And then again, my girl dog kind of nudges me and says, look over there. And there's a police car, a black and white, coming up, our driveway is not a driveway. It's a riverbed, and it's 2 miles long. And these guys were like, oh my God, you could see them just like winding their way up. And they have to, I can see them down there, but they're a good few minutes away, and they have to come around this bend and then come up this really steep hill that kind of does this. It's not a straight street. It does this. And so I'm looking, I go, I can do one of two things. I could run in the house and put some clothes on, or I can go over to where the dogs are and open the car and whistle, and they will jump in the car. And by that time, the police car should be coming around the bend. So I got a choice, leave the dogs out, and if the, cops, are trained to shoot the dog first and ask questions later. So I basically say, okay, so I get the dogs in my car, and I lock the door. The keys are upstairs, I know that. So the cops can't get at my dogs, and I'm naked with a red cape on. So they're coming around the bend, and I walk to the top of the hill. And when they come around that bend, they're going to be coming up, and I'm going to be right up here. And I got to take a piss. So I pull out my hog, and I start urinating, and they come around the bend. And as they come around the bend, I'm on top of this little knoll, and I'm pissing down on this, and they drive right into my stream of urine, just going right across. And the guy stops, and the window's open, and the urine goes right through the window into the police car, right? And, I could have like moved my hog just a little to the left and urinated all over the head of the policeman, but I don't. I just kind of wiggle it the other way, and it shoots across their dashboard. And they stop, and my hog is like right on the windowsill of their car, and they're like, and I go, who are you looking for? And I take the clipboard out of the guy's who's got his mouth like, and I go, no, you guys are in the wrong place. You got to go back down and around and over there, right? And so the guy looks at me and goes, can we go forward and get out? I said, no, you're going to have to back down this hill. And like I said, it wasn't a straight hill. It's like, And so they back down, and they smash into a tree and take out one side of the police car. Then they kind of do the other thing, and they take out the other side. And then the third little bend, they almost go off the cliff, right? And they get down and turn around and shoot the heck away, right? And that's the second time these morons do this. So I know the chief of police, right? Their boss, right? The head guy. And this is what you got to do. You got to know the head guy. And so one day I was at a meeting, and the police chief was there, and he comes over and he goes, Al. And I said, what do you want, Bob? He goes, listen, yes, I know the people came up to your hill, and they went to the wrong place. They took a wrong turn, and they came up on your place. I said, twice. Don't you guys have GPS? You should buy a better one. Get one made by the Chinese, Anyway, he goes, you got to stop doing that to my boys. I said, listen, you sent up totally incompetent people, and I gave them a lesson because the guys with the automatic weapons, I walked them down to the guy's place and basically was talking to him. I said, "You guys ready for martial law? You ready to kill grandma? You know, are you ready to do that?" And they were like, you know. And the last time I went on an airplane was in 2005. I got hired by this rich person to go to Ireland with them because, they knew I spent lots of time there. I knew lots of people. They wanted to buy real estate, da 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 da. So, hey, buddy. So you know, they were going to pay it first class all the way. I hadn't been to Ireland since 1980. This is 2005, and I still had my passport. I still had about a year and a half left before I had to get a new one. So I basically said, sure. You're going to pay me a lot of money, and you're going to pay for everything. And so anyway, they were in Asheville, and so they wanted me to come to Asheville, and then we were going to fly from Asheville to Greensboro, from Greensboro to Raleigh, Raleigh to Boston. Now, if we had just driven from Asheville to Atlanta, there's a flight that goes straight from Atlanta to Dublin, right? And I said, why don't you do that? Oh, no, I can save $15. I said, I can get on and off the airplane 4 times? Come on. So anyway, we go to the airport, and again, I don't really travel heavy, I travel light. This is the highest high in the ancient one. This is the one's game, and we centralize drop souls as children, wend our way to the ocean, the individual soul aware. Yep. I mean, Inc., that is the basic story in a very poetic form that you put there about Lucifer, breaking the hegemony of heaven and through his ego's childish anger created this illusion universe. And so that's what you're talking about. And the only way we can heal this is with humor, theater, poetry, visual arts, creativity. We have to create an alternative aesthetic. And the Bauhaus was trying to do that, but they were too literal and they were too stuck in the material plane. And, Sophocles was trying to do that too. When he was the tutor to Alexander, he wanted to change. He understood the whole story and realized that Alexander was a linchpin kind of guy. And that's why he was their teacher. And, he basically, all those young men that Sock taught, he turned into a cadre. And that's why Alexander was so amazing, because he led by example, and all his cadre that he had since a childhood changed the world. Of course, he was murdered at 30-something, and, things unraveled, and, we've had war ever since. So the bottom line is, individually, you know, the worst monster that we have is our own selfish ego. And it's not our own. It's not, our ego is not free will. No, it is an antimatter device controlled by Lucifer, right? And he has demigods like Ares stroking our, vagus nerve to kill, maim, and destroy. Yep. And that brain is just the freaking, big rat in a cage of the Rolodex of time's illusion. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. It hasn't published, but he has some of his books on the website. Yep, that's where I got my, X-rated, XRATT .blogspot.com. And Twitchy, if you're talking about somebody else, please leave me a link. And all of you, whatever interesting, all of you drop lots of links on me, and I really, really appreciate it. Really, really helps me to think about things to put forth in a shamanic lesson here. So keep sending me those links. So Twitchy, if you're not talking about me and wanting people to go read my novels, which I do want you to do because they're all, that one novel has 6 cuts, and, that's one novel of 26 novels I have. And I did not put down 1/4 of the novel because unless you can truly not embrace, but read at least those 6 cuts and try to embrace what I'm trying to say in my shamanic alchemical way, there's no sense in giving you the last quarter of the thing. And that's kind of why I want you guys to read it and then come back on the thing and we talk about it. It's part of our little lesson plan here. That's it. XRATTED.blogspot.com. Thank you, Twitchy. Sorry for trouble. Mutate still. Yep. Not a problem. We're all mutating. We're gang. We're all in. All together now. All together now. All together now. All together now. I mean, we're all in the same boat here. We're all awake now. We fall asleep every 10 or 20 or 40 times a day, and that's why it's really good to go into state 5 or 6 or 10 times a day, because that really puts you on the bop. Yep. Hey, guys, I'd love to go on anyone's blog, right? Anyone's podcast, sure. Let's, line me up. What do I do? Call them, give me some phone numbers. I'll call them up, or have them call me. Have them get a hold of me at, the dude awake 42 at Gmail. And a couple of people have dropped me a line and then said, "Oh, we want you on our show." And I go back and said, "Oh, I'd love to. How do we do it?" And then I never hear again. So I'm ready, willing, and able. I'm your Sensei Al Bob. I'm Mr. Malleable. I can do whatever you want me to do. Let's see, 48 minutes and 13 seconds. Now, I would love to see you deal with YouTubes like CW Center and explaining esoterica. Yep, I can do that. I have asked some of them. Maybe it's like I need an agent. I'm a team guy. And I'm in it, for the team. Well, buddy, if you want to modulate your brainwaves, right? One, going into state, that 20% in and that 30% out, right? Okay, so here we are at 49. Look at that, 49 minutes and 49 seconds. So tonight's little meditation is just what Buddy wants to do. I am trying to work out modulating brainwaves into the M band and transmitting via radionic circuits. Any advice? Yes, we're going to do it tonight. We're going to do it in 5 minutes, right? The mind is the seat of the ego. The ego is the seat of this. Yep. When the garden of your life is destroyed, you replenish it by contaminating self. Yep. I'm more into biofeedback. Biofeedback is excellent. I use biofeedback, but you can do it yourself. You don't need a little battery operated device. You can do it yourself. And if you have biofeedback, by all means, use it. It's all about practice makes perfect. If you got a little, I used to do that. I used to do biorhythms. When I had a healing practice, I did cranial sacral. That's where you balance the nine chis in the body. Yes, you need better, not habit, discipline. Habit is unconscious activity doing the same thing over and over, right? No. Discipline is being aware, awake, and focused. On the YouTube video without messing around on the chess game and getting the coffee. Yep. You just kind of have to get there. But, we got all the time in the world. We just started this. You got a plan. Buddy, I love it. I'm a guy, I keep telling people, I'm a strategist, I'm a guy who looks at history and, shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemist, meaning I look at the long trends and not just one, but all the ones that come together, right? And I look at that energetic bond. So, modulating brainwaves. That is what we're going to go. And the mind is the seat of the ego. So we're going to shut the ego up and dissatisfaction. And we're going to visualize in this journey, not dissatisfaction, but abundance. And not satisfaction, but being satiated spiritually, And what is satiation? But that process where we internalize, food, energy, spiritual dynamics, and we come to a balanced, holistic place where we've had enough. We don't just keep stuffing bread and food into our mouth until we're like chipmunks with all that food stuck in our cheeks. Billy Bob. No, you haven't missed too much. We are in the next, at 55 minutes and 55 seconds, we're going to start to meditate, go into state, and we are going to work on the thing that we are going to visualize is modulating our brain waves into the AM band and transmitting via the radionics circuit our consciousness into the great lake of the link. So, Buddy has brought to us a little exercise where we are all going to connect collectively as the cadre and as the chorus and as the shock troops of love's co-creation in the Great Link. I talk about the Great Link. I talk about being the pebble, and we are together, the tsunami of love. Well, tonight we're going to experience that, right? And the thing that we have to really keep hold of this is to realize, as Inc. tells us, the mind is the seat of the ego. The ego is the seat of dissatisfaction. When the garden of your life is destroyed, you replenish it by contentment and self-sufficiency. Yep. And that is that thing that I'm talking about, being living in a world of abundance and not scarcity by satiating our spiritual self. Not eating until we explode, but consuming love's co-creation to where we're at balance. So that's what we're going for. We're going to go for balance within modulating our brain waves. And we're going to, when we go into state, we leave our avatar relaxed and on automatic. But we do that by energizing it with the prana. So that's, buddy, that is the key, is taking that prana and putting it in that radionic field is in the swirl of the blood. Okay, so we're coming up to 55 minutes and it's 36 seconds. So everyone, get comfortable, seat yourself, lie down, turn down the lights, do whatever you want to. And buddy, if you are in a comfortable place and you have a candle, and everyone else, candle meditations are quite, because that flame is the eternal flame. And you know what it looks like in your Akashic library. Okay, so everyone, get in a comfortable place. So when your avatar goes on automatic, you won't fall over or be inconvenienced, right? So, see it clearly. So everyone, just relax. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to go deep, deep, deep into a state of conscious relaxation. So 1. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. See it clearly. Breathe in 20% in through your nose. And when you get to that place where you don't think you can breathe in anymore, you go and kind of just, because that lifts your diaphragm, right? And that it energizes your chakras all the way to the top, right? So focus on that breath in, that 20% in, and that 30% out. That will enable you to breathe in that 20% a lot easier because you are emptying your lungs. And you're expelling all the waste products of your body. So see that clearly. Start focusing on your breath. See it clearly. And 1, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. You're quieting down that little squirrel in the cage in your Rolodex. That is your mind. Your mind is not who you are. Your mind is just a Rolodex. The CPU, the central processing unit of your avatar, is not your mind. It is your heart. That is the central processing unit, your heart. Because your heart, as it is thumping, what is going on is it is taking blood from all of the cells of your body and bringing it through your lungs. And when you breathe out, you're expelling all the waste products. And all those waste products aren't just, the toxins of your environment, but it's also the toxins of your spiritual environment. All the arguments, all the kind of anxieties, all of those kind of things are cleansed by your breath. And that's why breathing is so important. See it clearly. When we visualize, concentrate on healing the future beauty of your life. 3 hours a day takes about 2 weeks. Connect those synapses. The brain cells are connections, permanent from intention. And that's really the thing that you need. Intention is pretty much everything when it comes to your mind. Because good thoughts bring good words, which bring good actions, which bring good deeds, which bring good outcomes. And that can only happen if you meditate, if you breathe in, right? Breathe in that prana, right? And so that prana goes into your lungs, and the blood comes through your lungs, and it goes into those little areolas, and it takes that prana. And what is prana? But it is the energy, the photonic energy of love's co-creation, and it is what gives our avatar, our ugly bag of water, our meat puppet, our mud puppet, a reality animation, right? Otherwise, useless bag of water with a few trace elements. And alchemy, changing base metals into gold. Well, what is it talking about? It's not like talking about, getting rich by turning lead into gold, and that would be stupid today because lead's actually more expensive than gold. So, no, the base metal that you've been told about is yourself, and the gold is that little thin line that goes up to your Akashic record, that connects you to love's co-creation. That's what that gold is. It's that golden thread. So you're breathing in, right? 20%. And breathing out the waste prana. And as you're breathing in, you're bringing in that prana, which is that photonic light of love's co-creation. It goes into all those little sacs in your lungs. The blood flows through that, and because it is highly ironed, highly energized, that prana goes straight into your blood cells. And the blood gets carried through the veins and the arteries and the capillaries, and it doesn't go blub, blub, blub. It swirls, just like that. It swirls, right, against the wall of the vein. And inside of that swirl is another swirl going counterclockwise. And inside that is another swirl going clockwise. And what is that? That is the radionic generator, creating a scalar energy, right? And because when you breathe out, you ground yourself to Mother Earth, right? So the prana coming in is Father Sky. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, without end. And so visualize, and concentrate on healing the future beauty of your life, right? See the next second in front of you. And that's what, there is no time. So you can visualize everything. And that's why you have this Akashic record. That's why you have a library. That's why you have a librarian and an animal totem and a guardian angel. It's so you can transmute your life, your soul, your free will's consciousness to be totally in connection with love's co-creation. And when we are all together now, and we go into the, lake of the link of all of our superconscious minds, right? When we go into that lake and are connected through the lake is because it's water. It brings truth. It brings understanding. And it brings connectivity and conductivity to all our relations, not just the cadre, not just the chorus, not just the, shock troops of love's co-creation. No, everybody, everything, every element. And that's when all our relations are connected in this collectivity of love's radionics, and we are focusing and creating the next second in front of us of beauty, that's when the bubble of Lucifer's illusion will pop, and all can go home from this universe of illusion. And there will be no punishment. There is no, hell and heaven are right here. I put up those I put up the videos with John because it really gives a good example. I keep saying John is the canary in the coal mine. He really is, he is our patron saint. He is brilliant. He is truly an amazing individual. And if he could only get a grip on his, instead of being stuck, and that's why he's so stuck, because he is so amazing. And The problem is that he's never let anyone help him. He's only let people um, not even take abuse or bully or any of those. That's what he talks about, but it's a lot deeper than that. And he's almost like, the sacrificial lamb, the lamb that Jesus is carrying, the blood of the lamb, that's our John Boy. And that's why I'm here with him. That's why I've spent 2 years, right? And you've seen, me having to deal with that. Now, part of that is I'm doing it because it's sharpening my abilities of empathy and creating a process, right? Before I could, start this channel and bring forth the cadre, I kind of had to prepare. And being with John has helped me prepare. And he's my friend, so I don't throw my friends under the bus, even if they do it to me, because I realize that no matter what John does, yes, it's difficult. It has a toxicity. It can affect me physically, but that's gives it makes me step up. And a lot of people talk about I don't want to do anything that's hard or difficult or makes me feel bad. No, it's like that's when I realized that okay, I'm done here with Rona because I've gone to every element of the social, economic, political structure here, and I've tried to get people to work together because that's what needs to be done. They won't do it because it's too difficult, you know. And I was at a university, and the few students I talked to, and I just kind of popped their bubble on what they thought, their worldview was, and just in less than 10 minutes, I had opened them up, awakened them more than they had in their whole freaking life, and they freaked out. Meaning, I didn't really like I've done with you guys because each of you came to me. I was there on their tennis court, and so I had a limited amount of time, and I just kind of shamanically showed them things, and and I wasn't close. I wasn't in their space. I wasn't threat. I didn't say anything. I'm very, very. You've been around me long enough to know that I'm very careful about every word I use, and it just kind of blew their worldview, and there was a big group of them, and so I took each one individually around the horn, and people, I've been hearing people for the last, I've been in universities for almost 40 years. And every, 8 years is another generation of whoever the newest, the Xers, the this, the that, the millennials. And each time, I mean, when I was I'm a baby boomer. And so people talked about us. Oh, they're, lazy, they're this, everything they say about the millennials. The only difference between the millennials and all the other young folk is that the millennials have been exposed to social media and the digital footprint. Now, we were all, like I'm addicted to TV. I can't have a TV, right? I can't have it around. Or I'll just be like, and drool. Yep. So, um, so how is JB the canary? Right. Well, the canary in the coal mine, right? That's the metaphor. And what do they, why do they bring a canary into a coal mine? Because the canary is very sensitive and dies, knocks, when the gas is around, when the coal dust is too toxic. The humans, they don't even know it. Their senses are like, not very attuned. But they bring a canary down there because when the canary like conks out, they know to get out of the coal mine, right? There's either noxious gas or not enough oxygen, or the coal dust is too thick. So that's why they bring. Now they have devices that measure that stuff. But back in the day, in the 18th and 19th century in England, when they sent the guys down in the coal mine, that's what they, that was their little device, was the canary, and that's John. So he's very sensitive, and so he reacts in certain ways to the toxicity of the psychic environment around here. And he bought this school because it is a super psychic place. I mean, it's got so many ley lines underneath it. And, this is the Blue Ridge Mountains. And all around us, we have all of these black art um, tunnels, military industrial bolt holes, whatever you want to call them. But they're very, very, very satanic in nature and energetic. And they're doing some pretty strange. One guy's magic is another man's technology. Right. We all do, That's why, I've stuck with him for 2.5 years. If I could, I don't have to be here, No. But I see John as an important character, right? I'm take notes, and I'm a writer, so definitely this is going to be a play or a script or John's story. And I keep telling John, he goes, "I'm a great movie script writer." I said, "Well, then write your script, buddy. Write it down. Start writing." If he did, he could then work these things out. Because what do you think I've been writing in these little books for the last 50 years? It's so I can read them. Oh, this is what happened a year ago. Oh yeah, okay. And I get a perspective. Yes, and I meditate 6 to 20 times a day. A, to keep my body going, and B, when I look in the Akashic record, it gives me the ability to do exactly what Ink was saying. To visualize the beauty of the next second in front of me, right? So he represents all of us in some way. Yes, John represents all of us in some way, and not so much he not like he's a mirrored image of us, but he represents in that word, in the street when people represent, they pound their chest and represent. I mean, he represents. I mean, he is actually suffering for our sins, if you want to put it in a Catholic motif. And, no matter how I try on that, shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic, alchemy, kind of way, I can help him, but he's a Libra, so he's always doing this. He can never do this. And, he's 40-something years old, and so 40-something years of being in that state of this, it's hard to, in 2 years, to heal all those things. But we've healed a lot, and he has seen a lot, and he's trying really hard. And that's why I stick around, because, I'm right on that really fine edge of either being an enabler or helping him, right? And I try to, not enable his bad habits, and basically help him reconnect the healthier parts of him, right? And he's doing it, but like I said, it took 40-something years to get here. It's really tough. And that's, when I was a healer, when I had a practice, I would jump, when I worked at the VA and guys would come back from Vietnam and they had been basketball heroes one year and then no legs the next and missing an arm and an eye, I would jump straight into that shock, that trauma, and go straight to it and get them to see it, understand it, heal it, realize that those 2 legs, that arm, and that eye aren't who they are. That body that they got is not even that. And that with that, they can, make a new life. They can be better, and they don't, anyway. And that's what you need when you're healing, working with people to heal. You have to step straight into that place that will heal. And the real, that little thing, doctor, don't do any harm, the Hippocratic Oath is really double down in that you should not involve yourself unless you're capable of doing good. You shouldn't go. I mean, a lot of people who, when I worked as an EMT in the hospital, why I kind of quit was that virtually everyone around me was an adrenaline junkie and had this hero complex where they wanted to be the hero. No, I'm a traveler who finds broken things and fixes them, you know, and that's why on my business card it says Mr. Fix It. And when I worked for Xerox, I could just walk in and put my hands on the machine and fix it. Grandpa Stahl showed me how to do that, to use radionics and to douse the machine, right? And basically, machines are made by human beings, so they represent the consciousness of the human who invented them, right? And so the neuroses is right in there. So you want the machine to work well, you balance it out. You don't just rip it apart and put in a new drum and a new this and a new that. No, you can much better to figure out and balance the reason why the machine is what is disease. Disease, you take the word apart, it's dis, meaning when you diss somebody, disrespect, right? Dis-ease. So you are disrespecting the balance of the individual, of that ease, right? And that ease is what the prana is, right? And you are right now watching the prana go through your body. And that's that radionics thing you're looking for, buddy. So I want you to look at it and visualize. You want a device, buddy? This is the place to look at. You're watching the radionic energy of the prana go through your body. And you see that energy dancing on the cells of your mitochondria, right? And you're seeing the mitochondrial DNA. That's very important. Look at the mitochondria DNA, buddy. You want to do this circuit? You want to do this thing? You want to make that happen? You can do it. But you have to go into your Akashic record. You have to open up that book and look at the circuit that's right on that page and visualize the mitochondria DNA. That's the little key I'm giving you, buddy. So go into your Akashic record and look at you seeing the harmonic of the current being created by the flow of the prana through the blood, right? It's creating a energetic of scalar energy, and that swirl that's right above my head. And you go into your Akashic record, you illuminate your imaginary mirror, you take that photonic light, you go into your library, all of you go into your libraries and go and sit down at your reading table and have your librarian bring forth your Akashic record. You open it up, put your right hand on that right empty page and your left hand on your left empty page. You lean into it and you empty all of the fear, anger, self-loathing, hatred that has been pressed upon you by the Luciferian illusion. See it clearly. And I want you all to go into your Akashic records. Now, Buddy's going in to look for this circuit, that he wants to be able to retune the energetics. He wants to understand radionics and create a device that you can just snap in that night and bowl battery and bingo bango, you can balance yourself out. That's what Wilhelm Reich did with orgone energy. So, buddy, you need to go, not only look in your Akashic records, you need to go into Shambhala and go hang out with Wilhelm Reich and Nikola Tesla and Newton, right? Those three guys. And Madame Curie, right? And also Albert Einstein's first wife. That is your crew that you need to hang with in Shambhala. And they will assist you in every way and every day how to create that circuit you're looking for. And this is how we're going to create the alternative aesthetic, because Buddy wants to make this circuit, right? He's like right right at the edge of understanding radionics and what its real meaning is and how it can be used. And he's read many books about it, but they never really tell him the 411 because the 411 is inside of you, buddy, not in some book. It's inside of you. So, right, you go to your Akashic record, you look at that, you take some notes from the things you see there, then you go through the open door of your superconscious mind over the bridge of your id into your sanctuary of your own choosing. You go over to the tree of knowledge, you look at the root, you see with your telescoping eye which root is Shambhala. You go in there, right? Go in there now. See it clearly. And the rest of you, you're all in your libraries. You have emptied out the fear and the angst and the anger, and you are searching in your Akashic record all the things that are meaningful to you. See it clearly. We are not looking to mutate. What we are looking to is to balance, to keep our hearts clear and clean. And that is done by all of the prana going through it. It's not something we have to, try real hard. Just breathing 20%, that's all we got to do. And we are that pebble in the pond. We are that subtle sphere of energy. We are that butterfly. See it clearly. Yep, old tech is the most advanced. Yep. Analog neural link. You got it, buddy. And with all aerials, one of the most important things are you have to know what length it has to be to capture the wavelength, right? And the other thing is you have to make sure that it isn't grounded. When you have a radio, you put insulators, right? And your radio has a ground, and that is like the chi of your radio. But the antenna is not grounded. That has insulators on either side of it. So that is another little thing you should be looking at. Grounding the chi, right? And the aerial, right? And again, if you go to Shambhala and go hang out with those folks I enumerated, they will be your team. And what better team than these amazing folks who've already done this stuff? They've already done it. And also Wilhelm Reich, right? Exactly. Yep, you got it. Yep. And that's why crystals are so powerful, right? Because they are natural forms of this orgone energy, of this radionics. And it enables you to, when you use that crystal, it's all about intent. People are drawn, oh, I'm going to use this magic crystal. No, it's not magic. It is a intensifier. It's just a simple amplifier, but it only works if your intent is connected through it. Harmonics. The ground is the most important link in the earth. Yep. Yep, exactly. And that's why those energy conduits, that's why all of the black arts use them. Now, these guys, they're punching holes through etheric realms, right? With their egos, not their love's co-creation. So because they are following the dark arts, and that's what the dark arts are all about. It's all about anger and fear and hate and your ego, right? So I'm going to be quiet for a moment, and I want you all to, yes, 432 hertz is that quarter. Yep, yep, yep. And again, the math can be elusive and illusionary. You have to go through, because the whole Hertzian thing, it's only XY. It's only two dimensions. And this energetics, it's, you know, within our realm, 16 dimensions, within string theory, it's 16 dimensions. And then, but that's just one of the multiverses that we exist in. Yep. Intent is it. So you want to accomplish anything, it's all about the intent, right? And my intent with the cadre is to be your Sensei Alba, to be that sweet, kind of lovable guy who's always there for you. And he's always, focused, preparing the, the class exercise. And I have no, no ego in this, meaning I'm not expecting an outcome. I'm just keep plugging because I know you guys are succeeding, I don't have, and it's not like we have to have this done by Friday at 3. No, time doesn't matter. It's an illusion. It doesn't exist. So whatever it takes is what it's going to take, right? And that window of opportunity is going to stay open because as long as we are together as cadre, as long as we are a chorus, as long as we are shock troops of love's co-creation, so say we all, the outcome will be love's co-creation. That bubble of illusion will be broken, and we will go back home. Now, all of these endeavors are just that. They're exercises, and, buddy, if you find that circuit and that process, you're only going to do it through love's co-creation, because you're going to have to go into state and see things that you can't see in the mud puppet reality. So this is where we are at an hour, 27 minutes and 27 seconds. I love this synchronicity stuff. So I'm going to be quiet. Everyone is on their own little endeavor, using all the tools, seeing where they're going. So say we all. Aho. Okay? So I'm just going to sit here and meditate for a few moments, and you guys, got things to do. And 2, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your body is totally relaxed, safe, and secure. And you have illuminated it and healed every cell with the prana and grounding that energy through the cell structure and energizing your mitochondria DNA. And that has been the antenna which you have sent out and received the photonic energy of love's co-creation. And you have illuminated your imaginary mirror, and you have taken that photonic light and shined it like a flashlight from your imaginary mirror into your subconscious mind. And you've gone into your subconscious, which is strictly a library. It's not a scary place. It's a library of your Akashic record. And your Akashic record is a record of your conscious essence in totality, from the instant that it was created into infinity, from the alpha to the omega. And because of your free will, you have 1 foot in love's co-creation and 1 foot in the Luciferian illusion of the material world. And all we have to do as the cadre is energize ourselves within the chorus of our individuality. All our voices come together and sing, "So say we all, that we serve love's co-creation, not Lucifer's gray world." And that is what is going on all around us. All these illusions are this gray world. See this clearly. And at this moment, you are all individually in your Akashic records, looking at your text there on the big screen and the 28 little screens all around. You are looking at that angst and worry and hate and all of that negativity of the illusionary world of Lucifer. And you're seeing it clearly, seeing what it is and seeing that it's no big deal. It's not scary. It's not overpowering. All you have to do is kind of smile and blow it a kiss, and it loses all its legitimacy, because the only truth, the only real thing that exists is love's co-creation. The only way you can create anything is love's co-creation. And why you have this deja vu of 1 foot in one world and 1 in the other is because this universe is simply a sandbox. You are experiencing your adolescence as a consciousness, and time is irrelevant. You have whatever amount of time you need to accomplish your self-realization. See it clearly. And you all have an individual song to sing within the chorus. And you all come to your Akashic records as this shock troop, this clan that is more than together. You are component parts. You are the combined essence of the whole. You're not that individual that the illusion talks about. You are not that, special, that you're more special. No, what makes us special is that we are a clan, we are a chorus, we're a cadre. So say we all. We are what gives us power, what strength enables us to overcome any obstacle with ease, is that we're all there to help each other. All together now. So say we all. And why do we fall? It is so that we can all help each other get up and move forward. That's what it's about. Ascending to our our conscious self, becoming aware, awake, and being in that state of awakeness. And we are distracted in this illusionary universe, but we together, we can overcome that. See it clearly. And 3, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. You have illuminated yourself with your prana and grounding your healing out into Mother Earth. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and the hour of death. Amen. As was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be. And every day and every way we take the peace of the earth and make it stronger with love's co-creation. See that clearly. You see your connection. See how the cadre is that link that we are all part of. See ourselves immersed in the waters, the healing waters of the lake of the link. See it clearly. See that even though we are individual consciousnesses with individual free wills, we come together as the cadre, as all our relations, as the chorus. All our voices come together as the chorus. And when we go into state, we are the shock troops of love's co-creation. See it clearly. And now you rise and you go into the shortcut from your library into your lodge. And all of our relations are in your lodge. And you walk out into the common room. And everyone, it's just filled with all our relations. And we walk into the hedgerow longhouse. And everyone goes and speaks. We all are heard. And I want you to feel that realization of how we are all heard, that our voices in the chorus are all heard. See it clearly. See, whatever obstacle, whatever anxiety, whatever hurt, whatever bad memory is an illusion. We don't have to hide from it. We face it and we navigate and we disempower it. We take it apart forensically. We take our shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemy, that frame, and put whatever obstacle is on that frame. We take it apart. We see how it, we tinker with it. We see how it works. We see how we can fix it. We are the fix-it crew. See that clearly. So say we all. We're here to fix this. Whatever it takes. And the only way it can be done is through love's co-creation, not through anger, not through fear, not through violence, not through ego, not through exceptionalism, individual no, the exceptionalism that we have is as all our relations, our cadre is exceptional. Together we are exceptional, not individually. Together we are exceptional. See that clearly. And we're walking through that open door of our id to our superconscious mind, where our sanctuary is, and we're going over the bridge. We're looking down into it, and we're seeing it every time we go over this bridge. We are seeing our sanctuary deeper and deeper, right? And we come down, we walk to the east, and we come to the meadow in front of the gazebo, and we sit down at our picnic blanket with all our relations, And I want every one of us to lie back on that grass with that sun hitting us. It's a beautiful day, and the smells are amazing, and everything is as it should be. See it clearly. This is as it should be. In every day and every way. This is as it should be. And lie down on that nice picnic blanket. Close your eyes and feel the best you've ever felt. Smell all the most amazing smells, the honeysuckle, the lilac, fried chicken, peanuts, roasted popcorn, cotton candy, everything. Feel that just sensual light, that photonic light just oozing through you and taking your whole essence into the earth where the fungi, it's all those little hairs of the fungi are going into every follicle, are like caressing each hair of your skin. And that's why you have all those hairs, to communicate with all of your relations. All those little hairs on your body don't need to be waxed off. No, they are there for a purpose. They're your little antennas. Buddy, you want to know the size of the antenna? Look at the hairs on your body. See it clearly. And 3, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. Your avatar is totally relaxed, totally on automatic, totally safe. And I'm going to count from 3 back to 1. And when I say 1 the last time, I'm going to stop my fingers, and then we're going to be right back here. So I'm going to be quiet for a few moments, and I want you guys to complete whatever endeavor that you have been working on and see how it is connected with everyone, how one person's project isn't like separate from anyone else. It fits in. And you're seeing all the dots. You're seeing how it fits in. Instead of being a specialist in one thing, you're seeing how it fits in. All together now. All together now. And 3, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. You're totally conscious, totally awake, totally aware, totally meshing into the fungi there on the meadow. Totally connected. That's what this symbol is about. That is like the chi, right? And this is the connectivity of the prana. So this and this. See it clearly. See it clearly. See what it is to be awake. See it clearly. Feel the love of all our cadre. Feel that love which will enable us to overcome any obstacle. Feel that love that will create the bond that is the glue to the understanding, the connectivity, the creativity of what love's co-creation is, that will bring us forth to come back home. See it clearly. And every day and every way we take this piece of the earth and we make it stronger. See it clearly, hear it clearly, smell it clearly. Remember, good thoughts bring good words, which bring good actions, which bring good deeds, which bring good outcomes, all in service to love's co-creation. See it clearly. And 3, You get up from your picnic blanket and you walk up the steps, the gazebo, and you go to the gazebo and you look out across your sanctuary of your own choosing and think of a question you want to ask. Get it firmly in your mind's eye. See it clearly. Turn 180 degrees, face where your back was, and face it, and there is an individual there. You ask the question, the individual tells you the answer. You will remember this answer. This is a clear and important answer to a clear and important question. Remember this. And tonight, whenever you go to sleep, into dream time, you will dream about the question and the answer, and you will get a firmer, deeper realization. And you will, before you wake up in the morning, go to your Akashic record in your dream time and place the dream into your Akashic record so you can go back and look at it at any time at your leisure and see it clearly. And this is a very important component part to your path, to your endeavor, to your conductivity, to love's co-creation and the creation of that conductivity and connectivity to the cadre, which is the creation of an umbrella that covers and protects all our relations. And through our voice, our collective voice as the chorus, we bring that harmonic frequency to vibrate that permeable bubble, to pop it, to take us all back home to love's co-creation. See this strongly. See it clearly. Going to be quiet so you can focus your intent on the question, the answer, the process which you are taking at this minute of the cadre and your presence in your superconscious mind and sharing that connectivity of the fungi of the meadow with all of your relations. See it clearly. Feel the love. Feel the potential, the creativity, the understanding that the completion of this endeavor will be, and the process of doing it will be, the most enjoyable thing that you have ever had. This is a pivotal point in your soul, self, your consciousness's free will. See it clearly. And 3, you're walking down the steps of your gazebo, you're walking over to the bridge, you're walking over the bridge of your id that connects your superconscious mind with your subconscious mind, which is your sanctuary. The superconscious mind is the sanctuary of your own choosing, and your subconscious mind is the library of your Akashic records. See it clearly. You're walking down and walking into your library, and you're walking up to your guides, your librarian, your animal totem, your guardian angel, and your guide to your lodge, and you bow with grace, humility, and appreciation. And so do they. And so say we all. We are the cadre. We are the chorus. We are the shock troops of love's co-creation. And 2, you're walking from your superconscious, your subconscious mind, your library, your Akashic record, and you're walking into your imaginary mirror. You're surrounded by that white light of the prana, healing, vibrating every cell of your body. into total connection with love's co-creation. See it clearly. I'm going to say 1 3 times, and then I'm going to snap my fingers, and you're going to be right back. And 1. You're feeling your presence in your avatar. You're feeling your lungs, feeling with that prana. You feel great. You feel healed. You feel energized. You realize you can go into state anytime you want, simply by closing your eyes and breathing that 20% in. And you can be in state for hours, and it's only a second in the linear time world of illusion. See it clearly. And in every day and every way, you're going to take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. See it clearly. And what are we saying here? Selfish or selfless? Chalk and cheese. Power or service. Forget the ego. Self through love. Aho. Thank you, Ink. Mastery of servitude for love and love alone. Aho. Oh, buddy. Oh. Aho. Fun guy. Yep. Exactly. F-U-N guy, the fun guy. Yep, esoteric dragon. You got the picture. So, that was a nice little trip. It's 1 hour, 52 minutes and 10 seconds. So I think we will chat until 1 hour, 55 and 55 seconds. And then we can, I'm getting tired. This kind of takes a bit out of me. And but it's all good because it keeps me alive, So nothing good is so easy, It is easy. It just takes effort. The effort of intent. And that's a perfect thing to do. But Twitchy, the beauty of this is you can go back and watch it on replay, and it's better than watching a football game, Yep, exactamum. Because, we all, by my intent and example, this video is, it's not a copy. You play it over and over again. You're experiencing what happened when we did it. The energy of all of us, all your relations, all say we all. It's right here. And that's and we kind of need to get that out to a larger community and say, hey, just go watch these things. They will be freaking amazing, and then you will go on live, and that, we're pushing 300 of the cadre. At least, there's 8 to 20 folks who actually are part of the chorus, who chat. But there's another 20 to 50 or so, because every time I load this thing up, it says that 70-something people were watching it, right, at the time. They just didn't chat. So there are a lot of people there watching. And so that's why this is so energetic. Why this is so connected. That's why we're the cadre, and the chorus chat, and the folks who go to state, and a lot of the folks who are the cadre watching go into state, because I hear back on the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail, people ask questions about what they saw in state and what, So it's all good. It's now 1 hour, 54 minutes and 54 seconds. And I'm kind of fading. I have to go do a little meditation of my own. And here it is, 1 hour, 55 minutes and 5 seconds. And I'm going to go to sleep. Cadre discard is set up with a different reference from the vibes and whatever people feel like sharing. Okay. I post the invite on this morning's live stream. So check it out. So Twitchy, give me the 411, what I need to do to take a look at that, because I think you gave it to me before and I couldn't access it. I couldn't like log in. I couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. So let's have a little conversation. And Twitch, you're in America, aren't you? Have you given me your phone number? If you haven't, and you are in America, give it to me and let's talk. Because, me, I'm a talker. Look at that. 3 minutes have just passed since I went and looked at it. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'm just, it's 56, so at 56 seconds, I'm going to say goodnight. Sweet, sweet dreams to you all. Good night. Twitch, you're in VA? You're in Virginia? Good night. Well, are you close to Roanoke? Well, good night. So everyone who wants to get a hold of me, you remember, the dudeawake42 @gmail.com. Love you all. Love you all.